Go live, virtual background.
So it's literally just a two-step process. It's super easy, but it won't work if your YouTube does not have live streaming activated. So it's literally just, all right, let's see here. Share button.
I don't understand why it's doing this. Guess I'll use this one.
Saving it to the website. And here we go. Hey guys, Jim Hall here. Looks like our countdown has reached 0. I have Louie here with us tonight. We're going to be talking about ownership and responsibility. And we're not going to, I mean, you know, this topic that we cover isn't going to be necessarily specific to 30-minute workday. We're talking about ownership and responsibility in whatever business it is that you're in. You know, and it's going to come back to some of the past topics that we've talked about stickability, how to stay around so that you can actually make some money, you know, because if you don't take ownership, if you don't decide to dig in, when it gets a little tiny bit tough, you're going to just quit. And I hate to see that happen. And I especially hate to see that happen throwing around blame or calling the system a failure, because in my experience, that's just not the case. I do think that there's a little bit of skewed toward the industry makes things look easier than it is. So we want to hit on a few of those things tonight. But all in all, it's a business. You got to do it from the perspective of this is real. Now, and I think what happens a lot in this particular niche is that it's so affordable to get started, it doesn't feel really serious. So I think people think, well, I've only got $40 in, you know, so what does it matter if I just give up? Well, it matters thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands on the back end, because you could have made hundreds of thousands of dollars if you just develop the skills. So that's what it costs if you start to develop a quitting attitude and move from one thing to the next and quit, and you'll start to believe that it's the industry that has you quitting. So that's what we're going to cover. Again, my name's Jim Hall. This is my business partner, Louie Jolly here. We met a while back and we just picked this up and ran with it. We don't have any affiliation as far as financially. We're just good friends. We've done a lot of things together in our lives and we just clicked really well. So it's neat to have an accountability partner like Louie to say, hey, Jim, you know, you didn't do that yesterday. What's going on? So I think that's a good part. And then we're liable to have a couple of guests join us tonight. I'm not going to get too much into my background just yet. I'll let Louie say hi for a minute and then we'll continue on from there.
All right. Well, hey, Jim, thanks for, again, hosting these videos and out there for people that are interested in getting started or, you know, learning how to start their business. I haven't been an affiliate marketer, a successful affiliate marketer for very long. I do know my way around the computer, but, you know, March, you know, I paid for systems. You know, you talk about stickability. There's a lot of topics here around ownership and, again, some more about belief. It's going to be some repeating of the mindset because on tonight's topic. And we can talk about those because, like Jim's been around this industry for a long time. I've been, I'm going to say, trying, lurking, looking, knew that there was something out there, spent a lot of money on different things, just never made it click. And so grateful for Nick with the 30-minute workday. He's the one who put together, and the founders of the Funnel Builder product that we're so happy with, and the premium product that teaches us how to do stuff like this and to get leads. So, I mean, I'm kind of going to go all over the place as well because I'm excited actually to talk about ownership and the stickability part, because about 90 days into the 30-minute workday is when, you know, I had my moment of fame of being on the top 10. And now the company's grown so big and everybody sees, hey, if that guy can do it, I can do it. And they're flying by me. But we can do this. And thanks for again hosting these, and let's you know share some knowledge and some encouragement tonight. And that's all I have for you.
All right, cool. Thanks, Louis. Robin
I was,
Williams
I was
in the
gonna, I'm
house.
sorry, I was gonna wait for you to say, Louis, whatever you were saying, you were muted, but
No, you're not muted this time. Robin is though. Robin's muted. So, Robin, our friend down here, she's also been in the military like the two of us, or is in the military 16, 18, 20 years. Shoot, I can't keep track. She's got a lot of years in. And she's been doing this dabbling and now gotten a little more serious about internet marketing as too. So go ahead, Robin, take it over for a minute. No sound. You got no mic? All right. Well, Robin's, well, I don't even know what to say about that. Robin's got no mic tonight. So luckily, hopefully, I just sent Bob over a message too, so he can come in and join us. So you remember Bob coming on, and Bob will talk for your part, Robin, and for Louis' part, and probably take over most of my part too. So, so anyways, and then we may have another guest come on tonight that, not that inspired this, but there's been a lot of, who's that? That's Robin messaging me. Be right back. Computer crapping out. Okay. Sounds good. There's been a lot of stuff in the chat lately, and we talk about the chat every week. And, you know, I've seen a lot of people kind of like disappointed. They didn't realize that this, I don't know if they don't realize this is a business, if it's marketed in a way that looks like it's not what it is. I mean, I treat it like a business. And something that Nick said the other day is it only takes 70 customers a year to make $100,000 a year. It only takes 70 people that buy the first two products inside of our business. So basically 70 customers on AutoShip. Go ahead, Louis. Do you have something?
Well, you know, talking about just getting started into the ownership, it does only take 70 people. You know, I did the numbers, 70 and 70 of the products. All you have to have is one product. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're selling, in this case, we promote the funnel builder, the business, helping other entrepreneurs started and build a business. So that's our main product that we're selling. You only need one product, and you need to believe in it, and then you need to believe in yourself that you're going to make it work no matter what, as is talked about in the book, the 30-Minute Workday, in the first 12 pages of that book. And you know, we can go into some, I don't know all the Jim Rohn quotes, I know a bunch of others and stuff that for inspiration of how to stay inspired, like the day that you opened up your email or signed in on a form and put your email address in there, and you put your you know, contact information, and you started on this journey. How do I keep that same level of enthusiasm and excitement when there's a little tiny bump in the road? That's, you know, that is where, you know, that's the ownership. That's like, I'm going to work out this week, I'm going to lose the weight, but the first time it's raining and I can't go out and go for a jog, all of a sudden I'm off my diet. You know, everything's ruined. And that's kind of what we see happen here, or you're seeing in the chat, is enthusiasm, first little glitch, and they're down for the count. And we get it, but that's why we're here. And we want to encourage people not to quit. Just listen to us talk about it every week. I mean,
Right. And Louis says we get it. And what Louis really means is we've been there. We know. I've quit. That's one of the things that I give so many people advice on now. You know, I just turned 46 years old. And one of the major things that I give people advice on is stay doing whatever you're doing, whether that's your job or that's your business or whatever it is. Unless it sucks, unless you hate it, stay doing it. But then find something you like and still do it. Every week I end up talking about McDonald's because Jim Rohn says that's not what the company pays you, or that's not what the company pays. That's what the company pays you, right? So at McDonald's, there's levels from minimum wage at $8.15 an hour, all the way up. There's no stopping even at a job on income. If you make a few billion for a company, they'll throw you a few million. It's chicken scratch, is what Jim Rohn says, And that's something, as when I worked as a manager at McDonald's, I said to a lot of the kids, I said, I don't know if you realize this, but the store manager, and I can't think of what the car is that he drives now. It's one of them real fancy Toyota upper class. It's got an FJ on it. You guys know what that car is? Anyway, it's a high end. And this is just the store manager of one car. And he makes about $65,000 a year at that one McDonald's. And that's just a step. I mean, that's not even up high in the company. So it's not how much the company pays. The company pays whatever you're worth. And that's a lot like this business or your business, your MLM, whatever it is you're doing. The company pays you what you're worth. Sometimes that's the problem, right? We have to increase what we're worth. And a lot of us have that mentality of, well, I get paid, by the hour, but that's not how income really works. You don't get paid by the hour, you get paid by your value. It's just estimated that your value is worth whatever it is that you're getting paid by the hour of. So, and that's part of what this ownership is about. Robin, is your mic working yet? Do you know? Doesn't.
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Because I got it up on my phone, but normally I have a horrible time with people hearing me over my phone without headphones. I don't actually have connected to the phone because I don't have the right pieces right now. But
Gotcha.
Hopefully y'all can hear me pretty clearly.
Yeah, it is a little back and forth just because the typical, I don't know, just a slight movement and your voice changes a little bit, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. You got anything you want to add? Say anything about yourself or?
I like to consider myself quite a regular person, even though a lot of people might not think so, because there's not a lot of people that serve, that's in the military and things like that. But when it comes to, the reason why I wanted to join a business and all that other stuff, I kind of consider myself as somebody who was just looking to help the family, who was looking for more income, who was looking for more money at the end of the month. Been around the block, like struggling from business to business, and actually, doing offline, online marketing, things like that. And when it comes to tonight struggle, I think one of the biggest things that I failed to do in the past was having ownership and looking at the different opportunities and businesses that I was doing, looking at it as my actual business, taking control of my business and actually sticking with it, like Louis was saying. Basically, some people, they'll look at and they'll see that failure and then they're gone, right? So you jump to the next thing and the same thing happened again. I think it's a huge thing to stick with a business and basically know that you're not going anywhere until it works, until you make this work. And, even still, you're not going anywhere, and just taking control of, whatever it is that you need to do in your business. And also on a different level, I don't think I necessarily do this. Sometimes I feel like I do make excuses in other areas, but I see a lot of people that come in and they put that ownership on their sponsor, or they put that ownership on the company, what the company should do. But most of these companies out here, they're not here to build the business for you. That's what they got you for, So a lot of the companies don't even teach you what we teach here in the 30-minute workday. They don't teach you any of the strategies or anything. So it's really up to you, regardless of what business you join, to go out there and learn strategies. You really don't even, at this point in time, you don't even have to reinvent the wheel. You just go out there and learn, buy some courses, find some YouTube videos, whatever it is, and just make it work. A lot of people come up in the ranks because they took some type of ownership or responsibility of the business, and you see they come up with this new strategy that nobody used because they took the time to go out there and figure it out until it worked. And then they seem like they, had success overnight, but really they just stuck with it and created something of their own and had success. And like I said, you don't even have to create anything or reinvent the wheel these days. You just pretty much plug into a strategy and stick with it. So that's what I have. And hopefully you get at least hear 90% of that.
Yeah. Yep. About that much. No, that's good.
I heard it all, Robin. I heard it all.
I think that's really good. And a couple of things that you talked about there really, remind me of some of what's going on, I think, in the industry right now. And honestly, I'm not looking at the whole industry a whole lot right now because I've been pretty immersed in this particular opportunity. So, and I do think that that's a big thing as well, because I'm not even looking at anything else, so, and I think that's something you really have to do. I think that that's what leads to waking up in the morning and already having an email in your brain, because all I'm thinking about is the 30-minute workday. All I'm thinking about is the products that we're actually offering and using. And on the other side of that, you said that these companies, they don't train you. That people rely on these companies and put off I forgot exactly how I wanted to say it, but I think it's interesting that the 30-minute workday doesn't even have an opportunity that's actually its opportunity. So to fault it for your failure is so backwards, because it doesn't even have anything to fail at. It's just training. It's just giving you a chance to increase your position. There's nothing to even buy specifically through 30-minute workday. So to then turn around and say that it failed you is really interesting. And that happened today. And I hope that the guys listening today, I did give them the code to come on and actually talk with us, because something else that really struck a chord when we talked about it was, we've all dabbled in stuff and we've tried it for, 30 days and we didn't make a sale. And then we decided that was a scam. And then the next thing we only tried it for 20 days and we decided it was a scam because, well, obviously this stuff doesn't work, so your time frame in it gets shorter and shorter and shorter, and your belief erodes. And really, it had nothing to do with the company. We can talk, most of us in the industry talk a lot of smack about a certain company that starts with an A, right? That's been around since 1956, I think it is.
Huh?
I said, I love that company.
That company's been around an awful long time to be able to say that the system is a scam, doesn't seem to add up to me. So now the same thing, if you don't like the system, then you probably don't have any business in the system. We talk about that a lot as well. So, what else did I really want to hit on to make? Go ahead, Louis.
You only need, two things. Two things is what you absolutely only need after you have the training. I mean, and especially in a 30-minute workday, right? Somebody comes in, they sign up, they're excited, so they go right off and get the funnel builder without reading the book, without going through all the steps that we go through every week. And so when they don't do that, when they don't take the time to do that, and it's all out of excitement, I get it, how, wow, and they're flying through it. Next thing you know, they don't know where they found that other information. So they're lost, and you see that in the chat, help, I'm lost. And it's like, you don't even have to buy a thing. You don't have to do a funnel through this. You don't have to do nothing. You get a book that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. I know it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars because we have thousands of members that are making money following what it's teaching. So it has to be, it's worth what it's, and it's free. It's free, right? Now I'm a father. I have 6 kids. I've had a full-time job. I was the main breadwinner. My wife's been able to homeschool. That came with other sacrifices. And I wanted to make some extra money. I wanted to, learn how to make money because I'm working all the time to support my family. Anybody that knows us knows that we are hard worker, and it's hard to go from physical working to creating a product and selling, no matter what it is. If it's a door-to-door salesperson and you're going to make, a certain amount of money from doing that, or it's selling online, that's a hard transition. I'm only telling you that because a lot of people get mess in their mind. It can't be this easy, to be able to make money online because they've been taught that it's something more than that. They end up stopping. They end up stopping before they even get started. Now, there's other members that are coming in that have different financial issues, you know, that they have to hurdle. But you got Jim here, who I think went without a car or something at one time because, he's putting money into his business. So, at some point, and I think it was when I found Mike and Paul with the Home Business Academy, that you say, you know what, I'm doing this. I am not doing anything else. I'm doing this now, whatever it is for you. It may not be a 30-minute workday. You may be here checking it out, listening to us. You may have signed up and you may say, this isn't for me. But then we want to encourage you as an entrepreneur to find what it is that you're passionate about and stick with it. And you can still come back and listen to us on Thursday nights to try to help give you more encouragement and ownership in what you're doing. Treating it like a business. We've talked about that a couple times, several different weeks. Allotting your time, set aside a certain amount of time. Right now, my family's all in the living room, watching TV. We've got some grandchildren over, they're baking cookies. Where am I at? I'm doing what's important for my business and important for me, and saying, you know what, they'll be there afterwards. And they'll be there tomorrow, but we have to, this is something I feel I have to do. For me, I like to give back. I like to, we always we'll spend time here in another few minutes showing you the 30-minute workday. But this week, really want to talk about ownership, and my business is important, and they all know that. They all know what we're trying to achieve here. And that's important. I mean, I know some people we see in the chat, maybe their spouse or significant other doesn't agree with what you're trying to do. Just I don't know how to advise on that because I don't have that. I don't have that issue. But I know some people do, and it's a real struggle when you've got people around you not believing in you, that, and so some people use it as a challenge and they fight harder and they get through it. Other people may collapse underneath that after maybe a few weeks of not seeing results. One more quick story. Some of you that are watching, some of you that are new, my son is 16 years old. And he was working at a McDonald's. COVID came along and we said, get out of there. And so now he's like, he's got these big dreams, all these ideas. And I said, well, try this. And I showed him what I was doing. And before I know it, he's making more than I am, because he stuck with it. But for 2 weeks, he kept saying, I get nothing yet, nothing yet, nothing yet. And he set it all up himself. I started to, I'm going to say, criticize or critique like a father would his emails, because they weren't like mine, but they're him. And that resonates with people. And so, but he took ownership of it. Once that first sale came through, it was all over. It was almost like, get out of the way, Dad, I've got this. He should say, I got Jim, so get out of the way, Dad. But I got Jim. But anyway, I hope that it's encouraging to you. And, to put something in the chat, I can't see it tonight. I only got one monitor. But if you have questions or something to speak, an issue you're having with follow through, let us know. We'll give you the best advice that we have.
I think that's awesome. And your son, I remember some of his first couple of emails, and I remember being the dad because he's 16, and I was like, oh man, that's rough. And then I thought, well, let me just tell him how to fix what's actually wrong with the email as far as like setup and stuff, because that you probably need to know. And I try to be really, really good on that. I try not to ever tell somebody, don't do this way, So I thought that was pretty neat. There was something else that came up as you were talking, and it was about, dang it. There's a thing that I try not to do, and I try not to get so caught up in what I want to say that I don't listen to what you say, and now it's reversing on me that I don't remember what I want to say. All right. So anyways, what we're really trying to say is you have to stick to it. You have to just decide. I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he asked me, can he really make $2,000 in 30 days as a beginner doing this? And I thought, gosh, I guess I should say, yes, you can, if you're willing to. But it's going to take a whole lot more work to hit a goal that's fairly unrealistic if you don't have the skills, And I think what's interesting about that is even when you start a job, even a job at McDonald's, right? They put you on a 90-day, what do you call it, Louis? A 90-day
performance plan
or probationary period. My wife is Christy screaming probationary period because
we had those
because they realize that you're not going to be a good employee necessarily. Now they're watching you in both ways. They want to make sure you are learning, but they're also watching to make sure that you are learning, right? So it's the same thing here. It takes time to learn the skills. And I told this guy, I was like, if you can get set up and you can get a pity sale today, and I said it just like that, get a pity sale, go to your best friend, go to your mom, go to your sister, and tell them, look, I started a business. I need you to buy this from me so that I can show someone else that you can make $20 in a day, And he did, and he made a sale in his first day because he went and did it. And now another guy is telling me, I've been with this for 90 days and I'm so ashamed of the company and the failure that they've put me in. And I'm like, what do you mean 90 days? I mean, if you haven't got set up in 90 days, what are you thinking? You got to think that if the book says you're supposed to be making major strides by 90 days and you're not even taking the actions to get set up in those 90 days, you got to know that you're the one failing, not the company. You got to know that you have to do the actions. You have to come into whatever you're doing. And again, we've said, we're not talking about necessarily 30-minute workday. But if you're not taking an action, if you're not talking to somebody, if you opened a McDonald's and you left the doors closed, that's how I equate it to if you don't tell anybody about your business, if you don't get action to it, if you don't get some sort of traffic, you don't even tell your friends on Facebook, right? Then you've not even opened your doors. And if you bought a company for $100,000 or $2 million, like McDonald's are up to, you'd never not open your doors. So the same thing. I mean, think about that. If you bought a company for 100 grand and you never opened the doors, it failed you. I mean, that doesn't make good sense to me.
That's with any business. If you open a coffee shop, if my daughter is all interested in this a food truck, a coffee food truck type thing, which I'm all for that. But if she bought that and then never took it out and parked it somewhere where somebody could see it, or been consistent, be there every morning. I mean, one of my kids had a donut food booth. It was a miniature donuts, and people counted on him showing up there every morning and to buy their donuts. And let me tell you, I'll let you know if you're not there. It doesn't matter what the reason is, but it's the same thing. If you don't show up, you're not going to have any business. People are they're just not going to, they're just not going to come by at all. And the same thing with your McDonald's example or anything. In this business, it takes very little. I mean, I live in a little town in Vermont. I don't want to say that too loud, but I am in a little town in Vermont. But we have the ability here with the internet to take your business and go worldwide. And you can, depending on if you're buying traffic for whatever your business is, or if you're doing it via ads on Facebook or solo ads or classifieds, you're taking your little business from little Vermont and you're moving it to maybe Massachusetts, to Boston. You're exposing it to a much bigger audience. That's what it gives you here that you've never had before. And it gives it to you basically with $40 a month. As your base car. You're not renting this, paying thousands of dollars to have a store or inventory or employees. You're paying $40 a month and then maybe some advertising for your traffic, which is the same thing you would have to do if you had a storefront. You still have to advertise. You still have to pay for radio ads or newspaper ads or put out coupons or, and have all that. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do here is show up and own it. Say, I am going to work this. Set aside. I don't, we always say in this type of business, every time somebody's ever approached me about MLM or anything, how much time could you devote to your business? Well, I can devote 2 hours a day. All right. So, it's just holding yourself accountable. Am I going to sit and watch TV? Reruns of Andy Griffith or whatever show is your favorite, NCIS or whatever, or are you going to, no, there's my timer. I'm going to go work on my business. I might not even get anything much done. I've come to my computer and then got distracted by Facebook stuff or other interest things that I was interested in. Before I know it, my hour that I was going to devote to my business is gone. But again, it's on me. At least I made it to the chair. And that's what we're asking you folks to do. Set time aside for your business. We see people in the chat. I stay away from there because I don't know if I could be as kind as Jim and these other people are in there. God bless you. I hope I'm not offending anybody. My biggest beef there is, and we say it every week, if I see somebody there working towards, matter of fact, a 16-year-old, somebody did contact me, 2 people have through the chat and said, hey, I hear your son is in the 30-minute workday and I'm 16 and, what did he do? And it's like, here, here's his name and here's what he did and go. But, and you know what? The person's meeting you halfway. It's like, hey, if you need anything, just hit me up. I'll do whatever I can to help you out. But you got to meet them halfway. Like I got to the get response video and I can't find, they changed something on get response so it doesn't match the video. That we can help you with. But I don't know how to set up my email. Well, what are you stuck on? I don't know. That.
Right. Somebody said yes.
Meet halfway.
somebody said yesterday, and I wasn't too nice about it. Somebody said, "Do I have to watch all the videos?" Yeah, you have to watch all the videos. But my response was no. It's just like flossing. You don't have to watch them all. Just watch whichever ones that you want to make money from, and don't worry about the rest of them. You know,
There's only
Okay.
there's only one long video.
right? One long
And-
video, and the rest are just explaining this little step, and you push a button or two. Bob, how's it going?
Hi, Bob.
Bob.
Hi, Robin.
Can't hear you real well, Bob. I can't. At least I'll turn my computer up.
Hey, Jim, Robin.
Hey, I hear you pretty good now.
Okay.
So Bob, we were talking today, and a couple of times you mentioned, one of the things that we see in this business a lot is basically, can't I make money for free, right? I mean, that's the big thing that everybody's looking for on the internet is free money, and that seems to be the great equalizer that happened in 2000 when the internet came out. Was money is just free, and it just prints out of the slot on the front of your computer. If you just get a website and money just starts dripping out of your computer, and I think that's what a lot of people are thinking. And we were talking about that, and we were talking about your business, that when you started up, and you were, I think you said 27 or 29, and started a business and had how much involved just to get going?
I had, I was dating my wife at the time. It's a funny little thing, but it happened. I was about 5 years into dating her, and my father-in-law put his house up for collateral because I didn't have no credit. I hadn't done nothing in my life, to build no credit up and stuff. $50,000. And for somebody to put their house up for somebody dating their daughter, now that had to be a lot of trust in that. And I had to build a lot of trust in that. And I look at it the same way, kind of like what we've all, what we've all come to know. You got to have trust. You got to build trust in your audience, for them to trust you, and stuff, and gain their trust. So I gained his trust in 5 years, and I'm still with her. And I don't have the business. I built 2 businesses at the over a 30-year span, but it took me $50,000 to get started. And I was 29, and I didn't have a clue. I didn't know anything about business. I just jumped in. But I'll tell you one thing, when you got skin in the game, and me and Jim had talked about it today, sometimes I think the business is too cheap we're in, $40, because I think people take it for granted. I think they take the $40 for granted and say, what is this $40 a month right now? I'll get back to it when I can. I was always one of these that commit to anything, and I know we all are, because I'm what we've done in our lives and stuff, and you do got to commit to it. You got to commit to it if you want to build this. It won't build for you. I was telling you, Jim, today that I was down in my back. I had back surgery about 8-9 years ago, and I had back spasms all week. I couldn't do nothing in business. And I couldn't even sit here and do my email. Matter of fact, I got that one still in a Word document I started. I couldn't finish it. And I had to sit with the heating pad for a little over a week, 7 days. And I was cringing to get back. I said, man, I got to do an email. I got to do an email. I didn't do one. And I was like Louis said a couple of weeks ago, he got back on vacation. I was on that call. And he said, he was in a remote place up there, he couldn't get out, but he managed to get an email out or something, he said, Louis, and all of a sudden you come back to money in your, in your email and stuff. That's what I did. But it was something that I did 30 days prior or 60 days prior. I was working toward that and everything. And I had a lull there. I didn't make no money. All of a sudden I had $160 there that week that I didn't do nothing. And I was worried about getting back with people, but in the long run, I worked hard in my life, and in the long run, when I started that construction business, I built it up to 68 employees, and I had $2 million, a little over $2 million of hard equipment. I'm talking excavators, bulldozers, trenchers, trucks, big truck. I'm talking heavy equipment. That's a lot of money, and stuff. per piece, you're talking sometimes at 150, 250,000 a piece. So I invested in myself is what I'm saying. And I'm telling everybody, I think that's the whole key here, I guess, is what we're talking about. I think you got to invest in yourself, the time, the money, the commitment, everything about this. You got to put it in. I can't do it. And you can get help. I do like what Louis just said. I mean, I've got a lot of help off you, Jim, and I thank Louis for that, or I never would have got with a guy like you. And I was new to this less than 90 days ago when I come into this, and stuff. And I wasn't a tech person, and Louis said, I was looking for Louis. Louis said, I'm not the tech person. You need to get a hold of this guy here. So, but the thing I liked about that, I could connect with somebody like Louis, and then all of a sudden he connects me with somebody else. And then you connect me with this, and you showed me a couple things today that it really helped me. And visually, you got to have some people, but if you don't reach out to anybody, your business is not going to go nowhere. And you got to make a commitment in yourself to take a hold of it, and say, I am going to do this. I told Jim, I started reading before me and him got on. I had a little time there, let my computer boot up. And I got like Robin, I got my book, I copied my book out because I like paper copy when I'm sitting on the couch or something too, and I was reading that. I started I was gone a week from the business, and I feel like I was kind of new to this again. So I started over reading the book again. And I told you, Jim, I started on phase 1 and started kind of going through, and like Louis said, I went through the videos. They're only 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes long, except for the 1 hour, and the 1 hour when I think everybody ought to see. I think everybody ought to sit there 1 hour. I mean, maybe sit 2 or 3 times. So that 1 hour video is excellent. But 2 to 3 minute videos, I'm very committed. I'm very committed to this and what I do, and I'm very organized as far as when I want to do things and stuff. So you got to. It was probably harder for me to sit when I started online working than probably a lot of people on this call tonight, because I'm physically we're farming 5,000 acres here in Indiana, so I'm busy with that. That, Jim, all the time. And I owned a couple construction business. I was always on the outside. I was never on the inside. I had girls working on the inside of computers and doing this stuff. I'm self-taught on the computer. Nobody taught me anything. I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning a lot of times trying to figure things out, just get through websites, reading stuff and everything. And technically on the backside, I still is way apart. And that's why I say, Jim, help me with that. But there is, like Louis and Robin and everybody, and I see Robin and Jim, you guys, I see them on the chat all the time. There is help on there. There's a lot of help on there. But the things I see on the chat, and I don't want to be real bad about it, because I'm different, I guess, than some people. I see things different. There's the things I see now that I was taught by Nick. I mean, Nick is the one that got me in. I've known him for a while. And I thought, well, is this the right one again? Or are we going to try this over, Nick? And when he told me this is a step-by-step process, Bob, just go through phase 1, start reading the book, download that book, start reading. That's what he told me. And he said, also start phase 1. Don't wait till you get all the way through the book, because it coincides with the phases, and stuff, and the steps. And I did exactly what he said. I thought, I've got a lot of trust in Nick. I've seen where he's been. I've been in some of the places where he's been early in my online life. So I trusted him. That's that building that trust. He had built that trust factor over me, but he helped me like you, Jim, not really technical, but he helped me in business he talked to me all the time, emailed, we talked on the phone a couple of times, things like that. So I felt the trust of the audience. He built an audience with me, and hey, I just went through the steps again. I started down phase 1. I said, oh yeah, I forgot, a week ago. I'm thinking, man, I couldn't have forgot that, but I just touched on bases again. I went through the videos.
So let me stop you there for just a minute. And so you came into the 30-minute workday about 90 days ago.
Yes.
Which means you spent, so your first month you spent $40 or so, right, to start your business.
Right.
And within 90 days, last week, you made 4 times that amount of money.
Yep.
Did that happen in the first 90 days of your 50,000? Did you make 200,000 in your first 90 days?
I was in the hole for before profit started showing. I think it was around 7 years, 6 to 7 years to actually start seeing a profit, because I was reinvesting into the business all the time, and stuff like that. And I was hiring people, and the money was kept going out. It'd come in and it'd go back out. I'm just telling you, I wouldn't trade this for a McDonald's franchise like what you told me about, what we talked about today. I wouldn't trade it for a construction business. I wouldn't trade it right now for a profitable construction business that I know about, for the simple reason is the work I know I'd have to put in if I had that profitable construction business, opposed to what we're doing here. And my back, I'm 61 years old, and my back is out. I know I'm not going to be able to climb up and down tractors and things like that here for long, like I told you, and my wife's getting ready to retire next year. So that's going to put me on the computer more, because I'm going to, get into a lot more into the computer. The HBA is, I told you, I've hardly touched the HBA because I've just been doing my steps, my 3 steps and stuff. I've been
right.
I just started a new campaign today, that we've done what we did today. I holded that campaign back, it's just some common sense thinking, I think, running something like this.
And how good was the step-by-step plan in the $50,000 business?
There was no system. There was no step-by-step. I didn't have nothing. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I had to go out there, kind of like Louis said about the advertising. I was the advertising. I had to go out there in the old days, word and word. I had to go to Louis' office or your office or Robin's office and talk to the people that had the work for me. I had to hunt them down. That's another reason I like this business, because you don't have to hunt them down if you go the step-to-step deal like Nick's got set up. You have the people come to you. You have that business come to you. And like you, Jim, I'm getting to a place that I'm not everybody I used to get when I first started in it. Hey, what are you doing? You got to get in. You need to do that. Hey, call me. We'll work together. I'm getting to the place I don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
I want to do like you said, and I know Louis does. If somebody gets a hold of you, yes, that's the one I want to work with. Like we talked about being like-minded. I want to work with people like we have, and the whole group, like-minded people coming in.
Right. And this system, and I touched on this last week, this system with the leads and the ability to just roll your money back into your business if you want to, lets you do that. And last week I was actually able to tell somebody, he's like, I really want to get the upgrade, but I don't have the money to do the upgrade and the traffic. And I said, don't get the upgrade, get the traffic. And I would have never in any of my past businesses been able to turn down a $400 commission like that.
Right.
But I know that the system's going to work and that's going to come back around, and the integrity. But I never had a position to have the integrity before, because I never stuck to anything long enough to find those positions. Those things were all there, I've been in a lot of systems where people made $1 million. I've been in a lot of systems where people made hundreds of thousands of dollars. And all they were doing was the same thing I'm doing now, is just sticking to it, following the system, and going through the steps, just like you're saying. Now, go ahead, Louis.
Well, I was just going to say about the $40, we know of an older company that's no longer in existence that we were part of, that the digital products cost $1,500, $3,000 to get all in, and everything that's in those products is right here in the book. That's free now, right? So you used to think, well, something like this system to make money online. And there is probably a mindset that way, that I have to spend a good amount of money if I'm really going to make money online. I'm going to have to spend a lot of money. And you know what? You could do that on the best advertising, or you could do that. You could spend that money, if you're not the greatest at content creation, on maybe a resource that's good at that. that's something different. But you don't have to spend a lot of money to be able to make a lot of money. I can't think of the woman's name, and maybe you guys will be able to help me out. But she used to do a show about interviewing millionaires, self-made millionaires, that made their millions off of pretty much some really stupid Billy Bob teeth, right? Those guys, I think they're in Kentucky, are multimillionaires off of this one product, one little product that costs them pennies now to have made, and they sit there and package it. Same thing with the duck calls, right? They've made millions upon millions off of this one product, and they stuck with it, and stuff, right? And that's what the people coming out of the workforce, maybe not, like Bob, or I have a full-time job in some apartments, and I would trade all of that to make that half of that I make just on this, and not have to deal with any of that. Why not? This would be that's the goal. That's the cat's meow. And it's possible.
Let's go through a little bit of technical. Robin, you got anything you want to ask Bob or say to anybody before we dive into some sticky points that need to be covered?
No, not too much. I love it all. I love hearing you speak, Bob. Just FYI, I just be in there like, it's really good to see people from different backgrounds, coming into this, because a lot of people that came from your background, Bob, is probably like, well, I don't know how to do this, or maybe they don't really know how to use a computer. Like, you took that ownership and actually went out there and made it happen. Like, some people really, that's really their excuse to not, see their dreams through. And for those who might be watching and maybe thinking something like that, one of the things I could just tell you out of encouragement is that you can always learn something. It might take you a little bit longer than the next. It might even be quicker, once you start learning it, you'll get used to it, and then it'll pay off. Like, it'll all be worth it. So congrats on that, because I hear that be a lot of people's excuses sometimes.
I think, Robin, my whole deal is, and my real big background is, I was poor growing up, and I really think I give a lot of credit to my success in conventional business, my success in farming, and my little success. I call this little success in this. I know it'll be a big success if you stick with it and do the steps that Nick has in there, the simple 3 or 4 steps there. But I really give a credit to the way I was raised up on a poor farm. We always hear that poor farm, but we basically didn't have nothing. I remember my dad going out and spraying water on an old farmhouse when it was cold here in Indiana to have it freeze. And what for? To insulate the house so we could stay warm. Now, who does that anymore? I remember that growing up, taking a hose out, and then you froze all the sides of the house so it would freeze. And I lived through the 78 blizzards and all that stuff and everything. And that house was cold, and he did that just to keep his kids warm and everything. And I really credit a lot of growing up poor to what I have today and working so hard, because when I got the taste of some money, I didn't want to go back and live the way we did. It wasn't my dad's fault. We just had what we had back then, So I don't blame my dad and my mom on that, but it was what it was. But for me, when I got the taste of making some money, I stuck with it, because I thought, man, if I stick with it a little bit longer, I'll make some more. I said, and the same way with this, I didn't make nothing my first 30 days. I wouldn't want them to come in and, I got a $20 sale. That's good. It's going to work. I worked hard, and like I said, it was 30 days before I could get with, I found out Louis, and then he got me with Jim, and Jim got me on the call and stuff, and I started putting things together, and I thought, wow, I think this is going to take off. But I reached out. I don't think people's doing that. I mean, if you're having trouble, I like what Louis said when I first jumped on. If you're not reaching out, that's not nobody's fault. And I don't want to be rude, but you got to take responsibility for yourself. You got to take ownership of what you have in front of you. And it's like me and Jim was talking. I've been just exactly what Jim said. Otherwise, you're going to be jumping to another program, I did that when I first got online. I did it. And you know who I always blame? The guy in the computer, the person, the woman in the computer. It's their fault. I didn't make none of this don't work. And then I had to, when me and Jim was talking, I had to actually tell Jim that I didn't have nobody else tell. It was my fault. Probably all them programs that I was in would have worked if I would have went through the system and done exactly what them people said. But this is the easiest system I've ever seen. Like Louis said, video to video, step to step. My gosh, it's like, McDonald's. McDonald's is a big deal. That's a system. McDonald's is old. Me and Jim was talking about Amway. Amway's still the largest multi-level marketing company out there today. Still sells billions of dollars worth of goods. It was started in 1959, and it's the biggest one. And there's been multitudes of network marketing companies that's come down the path and gone by the wayside. Mm-hmm. But they followed a simple system, and they're still there today. It's just follow what you're given, and do it. Action. The action part's what people need.
Right.
Gotta get in
and
there.
It's called the 30-minute workday, right? So if you're not spending at least 30 minutes a day on it, you got to think, how is it moving along? If it's been a week since you logged in and you're not at least set up, you're not doing the basic steps, So and I say that again, like your restaurant or like your McDonald's or like any business. If you don't at least go there for a little bit, and that's what a lot of these internet businesses do. You just don't open them up. If you don't spend 30 minutes sending an email or learning something or talking to a person, there's no way you're going to make it, So you just got to take ownership of that. Realize this is a multi-million-dollar business. Any one of these is your own multi-million-dollar business. There's no limit on how much we're able to make. I know there's a guy out there in the industry that has a very similar product to us, and he has 165,000 active accounts at over $100 a month. So what's the limit? The limit is way up there. Now he's an exceptional marketer, but all it takes is 70. It just takes 70 in this business to make $100,000 a month, and that would change a lot of lives. We're going to go through a few minutes of the technical because we don't have a whole lot left, but I want to share a couple of things because that's what I want to do every week, is to hit on some of the sticky points. This is the dashboard inside of the 30-minute workday. And if you're still here with us, there's a button down below that you can click on, and each one of us will get credit for sending you here and helping you to get started in the 30-minute workday. And everything I'm going to show you inside of the 30-minute workday is completely free. There's no fee for the 30-minute workday. Everything in here is free. The book in phase 2 that we've talked about, the invisible step that tells you to do it no matter what. This is all free. There's videos all over the place. There's a community here that I'll show you. This is the dashboard, and this is what we refer to as where to go to get started. Go to the dashboard, watch this first video, and then go to phase 1 and go right to the top of phase 1. You can go there or here. I prefer this one because you can see it a little more, but this one works just as well. So we'll go this way. And in phase 1, you'll see a series of green buttons or red buttons. Green means go, red means no, right? So watch the video. This one is the long video that we've talked about. It is an hour long, and it's mostly about the whole entire system, right? It's telling you all that there is you need to know in order to make a 7-figure sales funnel, right? This is it right here. And this is going to tell you everything that you need. It's going to tell you a lot of what's in the book. So as you read through the book, you're going to hit on some of the features of the book again. And then you hit the green button and you go to the next step, right? After you watch the video. And then the next step is going to say, put in your information here, upload a picture. This picture will go inside of your system here back on your dashboard for the people who sign up with you. So this is the guy, Paul Hutchings. He's the HBA founder, co-founder. This is the guy that is my direct contact. So if you're in my system, you'll see my picture there because I'm your direct contact, or Louie or Robin or Bob or whoever's sent you here. This is who will show up inside of your system when you log in. So if you click on the name down below, that will be the email, the contact information, your sponsor's profile to get in touch of first line help. This is the first person you should contact if you're stuck. If you're stuck at all, get a hold of them. If they're not helping, then go to the chat. This is the chat, and you get to the chat by going right to the dashboard and coming right in here to get connected. And get connected will bring you to a couple of different features. You're going to have 2 chats and the YouTube channel, right? Sign up for all 3 of them, whatever you got to do to get signed up, and then visit the chat. And if you're stuck and you can't get a hold of your sponsor, ask in the chat. But do some steps first. Do almost all of phase 1 before you start asking, what do you do next? What you do next is go here and watch the video and then push the green button. That's all there is to it. Watch the video, push the green button. Watch the video, push the next green button. He's going to tell you exactly how to fill in the spots. Watch the video. It's going to tell you about the products that we've talked about. It's going to tell you about every step of the business. It's not going to leave anything out. The internet changes super fast. There's a couple of different companies that are involved in our tools and in our income creation, in our income sources. So some of these steps will change a little bit. All of the information is still in there. So use your imagination a little bit. If he says, go here and put this information in this box, look around on the page. Where'd the box go? If it's not there, it went somewhere. So look around for it. And then you'll go through here and you'll have some action to do. Notice, do not skip ahead. Watch all the videos. This guy, Nick, has spent 20 years. He's made, I don't know how much he's made, honestly, but I can tell he really knows what he's doing because I've made nearly $1 million on the internet. And I know this guy knows what he's doing because I've made a lot of money. I've seen a lot of things that work. Okay. So watch what he does. He's done this all for free to help you create a business or increase your business, whatever business you're doing. So watch every video. Don't skip ahead. Watch the instructions. If there's a link to click on like this, HBA affiliate instructions and login, go there and watch it. If there's something to click on, if there's something to fill in, figure out what it is. Don't go to the next step with a blank box. And then once you've got the box filled, go to the next step. Okay, it's really that easy. There's another blank box. There's another video. So fill in that blank box. It's going to say right here, when you get in there, it's going to say when it asks for a website, use this, right? So that's a pretty easy point to know. If it asks for a website and you don't know what to do, use this and then go to the next step once you get your box filled. Now we're going to get here and there's no box. This is what I wanted to point out. There's no box. There's no green button. So it's asking a question. Do you want to do this or do you not want to do this? Watch the video, make a decision, right? It's going to tell you how you can make 5 times more per month with 0 extra work. Basically, you're going to increase one of your income streams by doing this. If it's in your budget, do that. If it's not in your budget, don't do that. You'll progress through the system just fine, and then you'll get an email that says, you've made a sale of this. Do you want to go ahead and upgrade to this or not? And then you have another decision to make at that time. Usually at that time, people decide yes, because it only takes 1.2 sales to be in profit, or to break even. It takes 2 sales to be in profit, 2 sales. I bet Bob didn't make profit on 2 sales in his $50,000 venture. Bob didn't even talk about his $500,000 piece of equipment.
Yeah, I didn't want to blow too many people's minds.
Right? Our whole system is free. whether you use it for this business or your business. The whole system is free. They're just offering you the tools that you need for your system, in order to increase your value in the marketplace. These tools will help you do that. And that's all that we're offering. Okay. So here you're going to say yes or no. If you've already maximized because you could have earlier than this, then you'll just say no and you'll go to the next one. Okay. And then after that, you basically just follow the steps from here on out. It's going to tell you exactly how to set up your capture page, which is your basic tool. And you click through, and I mean, every one of them, you're going to click through, you're going to watch a video, you're going to do what it says. I mean, I could go on and on with that, but that's the basis of it. You're going to learn how to do a business. You're going to learn all of the steps that it takes in order to run an internet business. And I want to stress again, we'd love to have you on our team. Each one of us would love to have you here as part of the 30-minute workday. There is a button down below this video that you can get started with the 30-minute workday and work your way through the system. And each one of us has quite a bit of experience that can help you. So if you get started with any one of us, like Bob said, if Bob can't help you, he'll connect you with whichever one of us can, or to get instant answers in the chat, to get really instant answers right in the videos. I mean, the answers are there, but if you find that you really can't move from one step to the next, ask in the chat, send us an email, ask down in the chat below this. There's a chat right below our video here, unless you're on Firefox, apparently, is what I've been told. So, Louis, you look like you're about to shut down. You're pretty tired looking over there.
Is that what I look like? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's the glasses. It's the glasses. It's the glasses.
Anybody got anything to add? Anything you think I need to cover in more detail?
No, I mean, I think we covered the topic. Thank you for Bob for coming on. The whole key here. Hopefully, we've encouraged you, if you're on the fence, to stick with it. If you haven't even got started, you keep hearing us talk about the book and the 30-minute workday, that you'll click on the link below and go sign up and find out what we're talking about. It's the first system I've been able to make money with online and be consistent with. And my 16-year-old doing it. I'm making money with it. We're expanding out, but it only takes one product and then a ton of belief. The book helps with your belief. When we get in the premium membership, they have a book of the month. Every Monday night, we have a mastermind in that group that also helps you. And I think for me, I was following the HBA guys for quite a while. Didn't do anything with the products that I was in before. One, because my belief that somebody else would pay as much money as I would to do it wasn't there. That kept me from pursuing that to the level. But my mindset finally got to the point where, you know what? If they're doing it, I can. The whole proof is, if anybody has already done it, they've already made $1 million online with obscure products or with in this niche, then that means you can definitely do it. That's without a doubt. You're not even paving the wave here. You're not even saying, hey, I got this idea, let's make money on the internet. This is a tried and true plan. If I wish when I was back in basic training, somebody would have grabbed me by the neck, because I had a really rough upbringing too, and said, hey, young man, if you do life like this, a few years later, things would be awesome. And here, if you just stick with this, read the book. If you could give somebody, a book, something that's going to change their life other than the Bible, give them the 30-minute workday book, because it's going to, if you follow what's in there and apply it. And I think that's what Nick said, he was trying. And then finally a mentor. He went and paid. I thought he said something like $19,000.
Just 15.
One day with a guru. And it was a show all moment, right? Show everything that he did. And that's what Nick, you know what? I'm done messing around. I've spent all this money. He finally spends a large amount of money to sit with a guru, opens the books up. And when it all comes down, you're holding in your hands, if you have the 30-minute workday, what he learned from that $19,000 sitting with that guru. I mean, we're going to be here, or maybe I'll pay somebody to hop on Thursday nights when I'm off. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're going to be here. So, come on like Bob did. Ask for the link. We'd love to hear from you. Whether you're starting off or whatever, or give us a challenge to help something that you got stuck with, that you worked through, that you can share with somebody else. Not playing the new user anymore.
You're not going to play the new guy. You got a lot of good feedback on the new guy.
Yep.
All right, Robin, anything to say?
Oh, thanks for coming out. Get started. Don't settle on excuses. Don't allow small losses or whatever it is to prevent you from, making this business happen. It's definitely something that if you stay committed, you'll see the results, you'll get the results, and just see the end result, actually see the end result of your business, and just keep moving forward.
Sounds good. We won't let Bob capstone because we may not.
Nah, we're going to be here till tomorrow.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Thank you, Jim.
Yep. Thanks.